Hi, welcome back to Dr. Sam in the City. Today I'm talking about hormonal skin. Now, I'm hoping that is something that a huge number of you are interested in hearing about. As many as 78% of women break out before their period. I mean, it's horrendous. We retain water, we get moody, we get spotty, our boobs hurt. I mean, it's really no fun. But I think one of the biggest concerns is the changes that we experience in the week before our period. And the way I look at it, even if you don't break out the rest of your cycle, that's still pretty much a quarter of your menstruating life, anticipating spots and oiliness. So let's talk about why that happens and what we can do about it. Now, hormones are complicated, so the simplest way I can share with you is to think about your cycle in two halves. The first half, and that's from day one when you first get your period, as estrogen dependent, and the second half as being progestogen dependent. Now, the bad stuff happens when estrogen levels come down and progestogen predominates, because testosterone also becomes more in effect. Now, those two hormones are the cause of increased oiliness and a tendency to have more blemishes. So the first thing you tend to notice is more oil in your T-zone. The skin is shinier. Now, for someone with dry skin, this might actually give them a bit of a glow. But for those of us more typically with normal combination or oily skin, it can just cause an oil slick. So the first thing I tend to recommend to my patients who are troubled by this is to add salicylic acid, either in the form of a cleanser or a leave-on product like a toner or serum on their skin in this part of their cycle. It helps remove excess oil and it also helps exfoliate inside the pores. Now, the next thing that can happen is not just oiliness, but actual increase in breakouts due to more testosterone, which drives our oil glands not only to be more oily, but also for the skin cells inside the pore to clog up and form comedones. This makes us break out. So again, looking at anti-inflammatory ingredients can help tame the tendency to get new breakouts, and using a retinoid can help prevent them in the first place. The next thing you might also notice, perhaps not so commonly talked about, is more oiliness of your scalp. Now, this can trigger things like itchy, dryness and flakiness, and may even go on to cause dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis. And a good way to combat that is to use a shampoo that contains ketoconazole, the most well-known one over the counter being called Nizoral shampoo. The next thing, perhaps by contrast, is that hormones can just make your skin behave in a more sensitive fashion, being more irritable, prone to dry patches, redness and tightness. In which case, my advice is to cut out anything fragranced and use products that are what I call clean. And Avène and La Roche-Posay tend to be my go-to brands for that, particularly Avène and their Tolerance Extreme cleanser and their recovery cream, both of which are manufactured without preservatives. Finally, things that you can do to combat this natural tendency to be oilier and break out more. I think we're now increasingly aware that if your BMI is high, if you're overweight, it will tend to encourage insulin resistance, which can also feed in to raise levels of testosterone. So I think that there's no doubt that particularly those who've got polycystic ovarian syndrome, weight loss is helpful. And to that end, also avoiding refined carbohydrates, which would naturally tend to push your insulin levels up, will also tend to minimize that natural breakout prone period. So there you have some practical tips and some skincare guidance on what to do in this tricky time of the month. Please do leave your comments down below. I suspect that this will be the first of a series of videos dealing with hormonal skin, as it's such a common topic. So please do subscribe and stay tuned for more in this area. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.